What's up everyone, Randall here from Go for Noobs, aka GOLANG for Beginners. Today's episode we are talking about for loops and we are going to attempt to do it in 5 minutes. Alright, so in today's episode we're going over for loops. There are a few different for loops and GOLANG does not have while loops and other loops like that. They use for loops for everything. So let's take a look at all of them. The first one is the standard for loop we see in everything. It has an init, a condition, and a post. So we can say for I equals 0, so that's the init, the condition I is less than 10, and then the post would be I plus plus, which is the same as saying I equals I plus 1. And then with curly braces, we want to say what to do. So we can just print out, and that's funct.println and I. And when we run that, what we get is a loop from 0 to 9. Now you'll notice between the init, the condition, and the post, there are semicolons, and we don't need a parentheses around that, but for whatever we want the for loop to do, that needs to be within the curly braces. So that's the first one there, and that's the standard one you'll see for a whole bunch of different for loops. Now, next one would be while loops. Okay, so let's just set I equal to 0, and then we're going to have, instead of a while, we're just doing for I is less than 5, and then again curly braces, and we have, let's print what I is, and then let's increase it by 1, which we could do I plus plus, but that's the same as doing I equals I plus 1, and when we run that, we see 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And that is a while loop because it says while I is less than 5, we're doing this thing. So next would be infinite loops. Now in an infinite loop, we just do for and then curly braces, and we can have funct.println. And if we run this, it'll just end up timing out because that's an infinite loop. It's going to wait for it forever and then it'll time out. So what we actually need to do is break out of that loop. And you can see it just runs loop forever and then times out. So what we would do is just break it so it prints once and then breaks and ends that loop. Next one would be a range loop. All right, and I know this is a lot in 5 minutes, but we're trying to do this fast. So we want a range. So we're going to create a range, which is going to be a slice of ints, and we'll learn all this stuff later. But so basically it consists of a whole bunch of things. Now for a range, so we're going to have for index value in range R, and then we want to print the index and the value for each one. So we have down here index 0 is 2, index 1 is 3, index 2 is 4, and 5. So it prints all of them. But one cool thing we can do is use this little underscore character so we don't have to actually print out the index. So if we just wanted the values, what we would do is we would run that and it would give us 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's a range loop. And the last one would be exiting a loop. So let's say, again, we have for I equals 0, I is less than 10, I plus plus. And we want to find the odd numbers. So what we would do is if I modulus 2 is equal to 0, that would be an even number. We don't want to do anything for that. So we just want to continue there. Else println I. So basically if it's an even number, it's going to continue on to the next part of this if statement. And if it's else, it'll actually print I. So when we actually run that, boom, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. We got all the odd numbers there. So that is basically all the different types of loops that you have. The most common one is right here, init, condition, post, and generally using I for this type of thing. But that's for loops in a nutshell. Hopefully in 5 minutes, we got all of it in there. So if you did enjoy that video, make sure to like, subscribe, click the notification bell, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.